Hey guys, so the All Blacks have just announced their squad for 2024, and I am in pure shock. I just don't know what to say. I'm losing control here, guys. There has been some big names that have been left out, but also again, there's been 32 players named in total. So we'll go over them right now. Before we do so, make sure to click the like button, guys. Click the like button. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this All Black squad here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So, gosh, let's just run through this, guys. For the hookers, they've gone with the likes of Asaf Moore, they've gone with Cody Taylor, as well as George Bell. So they've gone with the two guarantees there with Cody Taylor and Asaf Moore. I think those two were guaranteed to get in because, Asaf Moore has been the kind of the form hooker, you could say, throughout Super Rugby this year. And then Cody Taylor, without a doubt, is just a world-class hooker at the end of the day. And yes, he had a sabbatical for the majority of the season, but he came back for the final kind of 4 or 5 games in terms of the regular season, and he's done the job. And he's kind of just proven, he has the ability to play for the All Blacks. So he definitely gets in. And then, with George Bell, they've gone with George Bell there, the first uncapped player they've selected in this squad here. And they've gone with him ahead of a player like Ricky Riccatelli, who was probably the player that was it was between them two. And the reason why it was really between them two is because of Samisoni Takaaho, of course, being injured in that semifinal. So he isn't available for selection. So it was really between George Bell and Ricky Riccatelli, and they've gone with youth over experience in terms of that position. And to be fair, I'm not really mad at it. I think it's actually a smart move, actually, by the coaching staff, because you have to remember that this is a long-term build, and this is the first squad they've announced. This is the start of a new cycle for the All Blacks, and they're aiming for that World Cup in 2027 in Australia. So they want to think in the long term, and they've gone with George Bell, who's had a really good season for the Crusaders, covered a lot of those minutes for Cody Taylor as he was in his sabbatical. So I think he's had a good season for the Crusaders. So not mad at that at all. In terms of the props they've gone with the likes of Ethan Groot, Tyrell Lomax, Fletcher Newell, Pasaleo Tosi. They've gone with Opportunal Fassi and Tamati Williams. So they've gone with 6 props in total. Comes as a shock because I think most people would have thought they may have gone with 5 because there is, Opportunal Fassi as well as Tamati Williams who can cover both positions. But they've decided to go with 6 there, and they've included Tosi, who is another uncapped player here, guys. And I mean, fair play to him. He's had a good season for the Hurricanes. But I am surprised. I will say I am surprised by his selection because when you go to the locks, they've only gone with 3 there. So, but before we get into that, with the other props, I think everyone deserves to get in. Tyrell Lomax had a good season for the Hurricanes. Ethan Groot, yes, Highlanders haven't had the best of seasons, but he deserves to get in without a doubt. You then have Fletcher Newell, who's again has been very good from a scrum standpoint, so he deserves to get in. Tamati Williams, again, can cover both, like I said, and it's been pretty good for the Crusaders. And then, you have Opportunal Fassi, who, without a doubt, is the one that gets in because, he scored probably the most tries out of any kind of prop there selected. And again, Chevy Mia wasn't in this because he is injured, so that's the reason why he wasn't selected here. But in terms of locks, they've gone the likes of Scott Barrett there, Tupovai, and Patrick Tupoloto. So some big calls there, guys, because with Scott Barrett being selected as the captain, so he has been announced as the captain for the All Blacks, so he is in. And they've only gone with 3 with Tupovai and Patrick Tupoloto there. So it's interesting to see that because I think most people would have thought they would have gone with either 4 or 5. But it seems like they consider Samipina Finau, who's in this loose forwards kind of area, to be in that conversation for a lock if they need him. So it's interesting to see that. Yeah, I mean, look, all 3 of those locks deserve to get in. Tupovai's had an excellent season for the Chiefs. Same with Patrick Tupoloto. He came back from injury just in time for that final. So it's good to see him that he was selected. And then, Scott Barrett, without a doubt, gets in. And, of course, he's been named as the All Blacks captain. So, it's good to see that. And, he deserves that, guys, because it was really between him and Artis Sevilla. And at the end of the day, I think Razor Robinson wanted his guy really in Scott Barrett there. So, I like the selection. I like the selection a lot. So, in terms of the loose forwards they've gone with likes of Ethan Blackadder, Samipini Finau, Luke Jacobson, Dalton Papali, Artis Sevilla, and Wallace Satiti. So, they've gone with 6 in total there. Again, Ethan Blackadder and Samipini Finau covering that 6. Jacobson and Papali coming in that 7, and then Sevilla and Wallace Atiti coming in that 8. But again, like I said, Finau can cover that lock position if needed. So I think that's what they consider of him. But man, I'm just saying it off the back here, guys. Where is Hoskins Tutu? I'm just in pure shock that he is not included in this All Black squad, guys. I just, it's just, I, I don't understand what this guy has to do more to get in. Like, he scored 12 tries this year, guys. Like, 12 tries. And the All Black selectors don't think he deserves to get in. I just don't understand this. Like, guys, at the end of the day, they've selected Wallace Atiti over Hoskins Tutu. That's what they've done here. And yes, you can make the argument that Wallace Atiti's had a better playoff run than Hoskins Tutu. But Hoskins has scored both. Well, he scored in that semi-final against the Brumbies, and he did pretty well against the Fiji and Drua, and he did pretty well in that final as well. I just don't understand. Like, I'm just so tilted by that, guys. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I can't comprehend why he hasn't been selected. Maybe there's an injury that I'm unaware of. Maybe there is, but man, that is a gut punch, I'd say, without a doubt, because he's just signed a recent extension with New Zealand Rugby, so he's not leaving anytime soon. But man, it rings alarm bells really in terms of, like, we could have another situation like with Lea Mape in the past, or with Ben Lamb, or kind of like, previous players who've been unfortunate to miss out in terms of this squad and have moved overseas. So I hope that's not the case. I really just do not hope that's the case, because Hoskins is unbelievable. So I am very surprised he's not in, but there must be a reason for it. Again, in terms of the other players, there is Wallace Atiti, who, congrats to him. I mean, fair play. He's been outstanding in the playoffs, so his applaudance there. He's just been good for the Chiefs throughout this year, and really took it up another level for the Chiefs. So, I mean, it's awesome to see him there. So that's cool. Artis Sevilla named as one of the vice captains, so good to see that. Papali, and good to see him there. Jacobson covers all three positions, so like that. Final covers that lock and 6. Then even Blackadder gets in, covers that 6 and 7. So yeah, like all the loose forwards there. In terms of the backs, they've gone the likes of Finley Christie, Teach Berinar, and Cortez Latimer. So that's the 3 scrum halves they've gone with here, guys. And I think there's not really, I mean, yes, Flavio Kataba has been unfortunate to miss out, but at the same time, I even said it in my updated prediction that I feel he needs one more season to be considered in the conversation a lot more. So I like how he's not included just yet. Again, they've gone with TJ Berinar in this, which I think is fully deserved. He's had an excellent season for the Hurricanes. Cam Roigard, of course, being injured, so that's meant that he's had to step up this year, and he's really done that. So he deserves it. Cortez Latimer gets in, another one of those uncapped players, gets in, and he's had a great season for the Chiefs, guys. I mean, in terms of all the youth players they could have selected here, they've gone with Cortez Latimer, which I think is the correct decision. I just think he's excellent and has been really good for the Chiefs this year, so I like that. And then with Finley Christie, I mean, he's just been very consistent for the Blues this year. Again, yes, he was injured for a majority of it, but he came back in the playoffs, and he just proved why he deserves to get in, and he's done that. So I like the selection of him. Again, with the number 10s, they've gone with Bowden Barrett there and Damien McKenzie. So they've only gone with 2 10s, which is interesting to see. So no Harry Plummer, so he's unfortunate to miss out, I'd say. That was really the one name that was being talked about. But yeah, just really unfortunate for him, because he's had an excellent season for the Blues. But yeah, just doesn't make the cut. And yeah, McKenzie's been awesome this year for the Chiefs. Scored the most points in Super League this year. And Bowden Barrett coming back can cover that 15 as well. So I like the selection of him. In terms of the centers, they've gone with the likes of Reiko Lawani, Jordy Barrett, Angela Brown, as well as Billy Proctor. So Jordy Barrett there, the other vice captain, along with Artis Sevilla. And then, yeah, they're going with Billy Proctor there, kind of the last uncapped player they're selected in this. So fair play to him. He deserves to get in 100%. He's had an excellent season for the Hurricanes. The amount of defenders he's beaten this year has been off the charts. So I like the selection of him. And then, yeah, Reiko, again, there's a lot of kind of, yes, he hasn't had the best of seasons, but at the same time, it's also come down towards just concussions and the injury he had earlier on. So, but man, he proved it within the playoffs, man. He was excellent within the playoffs, particularly that final. So I'm happy to see him included. And yeah, Angelo Brown, he's probably had his best season this year, really, for the Chiefs. So I like the selection of him overall. And again, can cover that 12 position as well. So that's a good thing about him. But yeah, in terms of kind of wingers / fullbacks here, they've gone with the likes of Caleb Clark, Modi Nawa, Stephen Parafeta, Sever Reese, and Mark Talea. So they've gone with 5 there. Again, 4 kind of wingers through and through, and then 1 with Stephen Parafeta who can kind of cover that 15 as well as 10. So he gets in. But man, yeah, it's crazy this, because Caleb Clark 100% gets in. I mean, he's been awesome for the Blues. He's been probably the best winger, I'd say, this year in terms of Super Rugby. So, and scored a hat trick in the final, man. Like, I mean, he was so good this year, and I mean, he helped the Blues win that title. So he deserves to get in. I'm going to Nawa. He's probably had his best season, I'd say, under the Chiefs. So I like the selection of him. He's been really good, been very underrated at times as well. So I like his selection. Then you have the likes of Steven Perifetta there, who's been selected, which is a big call actually to make because there's other players like Stevenson as well as Ruben Love who were in the conversation, but I think because they just weren't as available within those playoffs, that's what kind of let them down at the end of the day. And Perifetta, of course, played all 3 playoff games and helped the Blues kind of get that Super B title. So I think that's what kind of went into his favor. And again, like I said, he can cover that 10 and 15, so he gives you a bit of versatility. Again, they're going with Severis. Again, scored 12 tries this year for the Crusaders. They haven't had a lot of bright spots to talk about in terms of this season. There's not a lot of good stuff to talk about, but man, he's been excellent for them. And 100% gets in. And then final name is Martelea, who's he's had a good year for the Blues. I wouldn't say it's been his best year, but again, he scored 9 tries to his name. His stats are in his favor in terms of defenders beating, running meters. Like he's just been, he just does what he does really. So I mean, I'm not complaining about that one. He's just an awesome player, and he was breakthrough player of the year last year. Just to remind you guys. So happy to see him in. But man, I mean, like in terms of players you've missed out, I mean, if I had to name the big ones, you would probably say Hoskins Tutu, you would say Riccatelli, you could say Sam Derry, as well as Isaiah Wakalawea. You could say Peter Lakai. Peter Lakai didn't get in, which is crazy. Brendan Uwese, both of them had a good season for the Hurricanes. Falafa Kataba, Harry Plummer, Quintu Pai is another one. He's been pretty good for the Chiefs this year. And then you would probably say Ruben Love and Sean Stevenson. And even like Nana Satiro, I'd say. He's been pretty good for the Chiefs. But man, guys, that's my reaction there, guys. Just let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the squad. I'm blown away. Again, we'll see what the squad can do against England and Fiji in the July Internationals. But like the video, guys. Subscribe to our channel. And see you guys next time.